Hello friends, welcome to Crackgate CSE, and in this series of algorithm today we'll be discussing what is primary clustering and what is secondary clustering. So these both clustering are the drawback or the disadvantage of linear probing and quadratic probing. So in this particular video we'll be understanding that why these particular problems are occurring and what are the method or the approaches or how we can get rid of these two drawbacks, right? So before starting this particular video, if you have not subscribed the channel, quickly subscribe the channel for more such videos and press the bell icon too. So now let's start with the lecture. So we'll be understanding primary clustering after solving this particular example. So first of all, let me quickly solve this particular example. So M is given as 10, collision resolution technique is given as linear probing, LP is linear probing. This is the hash function giving and this is the key. So we know that the formula for the linear probing is LP ki h of k hash function of k plus I into mod m, because we are going to probe linearly. So for 70 mod m will be 0, so 70 can be here. 93 mod m will be 3, so 93 can be here. 82 can be here and 41 can be here. So for now there is no conflict. But if you check for 50, first of all it will be 0. First of all the address will be 0. So 50 will be first checking here, right? After this, here we are using linear probing. So after this it will be checking for the next place because I value will be incremented. Similarly again at the next place, again at the next place, and finally it will come here where it will be stored. So how many collisions are here? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 collisions for 50. Now if you check for 60, for 60 also, so now 50 is here, right? So for 60 it will also come to this particular place first, then to second, then third, then fourth, then fifth, but this time fifth is also occupied. So now it will move on to 6 where it will be stored. So 5 collision for 60. Now you can observe one thing, that 50 and 60 both are following the exact same path, right? They are following exact same path unnecessarily, because we already know that till 4 there is no place available, but after that, after this information also 60 is checking in a linear manner. So this problem is known as primary clustering. So what is the definition of primary clustering? If two keys contain same starting hash address, that is 50 and 60 was having same starting hash address as 0, and they are following the same path unnecessarily in linear manner, because they are following the same path unnecessarily in linear manner. Because of this particular path following, the average searching time increases. So the average searching time when increases, this problem is known as primary clustering. So primary clustering is related with the average searching time. So if we are probing in a linear manner, because of that average searching time increases. So this problem is primary clustering. So this problem occurs in linear probing, right? So this primary clustering is the drawback of linear probing, right? So if we talk about the time taken in searching, so the time complexity for searching will be order of 1 for the best case, because if we are trying to find a slot for a particular key, and if we got that in first detail, that will be best case. But what will be the worst case and average case? Worst case will be obviously order of m, because there may be a possibility that I am getting at the 9th place, all these 8 elements, all the slots are filled, then order of m will be the worst case time complexity, where m is nothing but the size of the particular hash table. Now the question is, what is the average time? Average time will be nothing but 1 plus 2 and so on up to m divided by m. So how we can write it down? This equation can be write down in a m into m plus 1 by 2 divided by m. So this m is divided, so we can write it as order of m. So the time complexity for searching is order of m in average case and worst case, because of this primary clustering problem, right? So if we are moving on to quadratic probing, whether this problem has been resolved or not, let's check. So this is the same example. Now I will try to solve it using the quadratic probing method, right? So again let's start with 70. For 70 there will be no conflict because no such elements is here. So 70 will be here, 93 will be here, 82 will be here, and 41 will be here. So for now there is no such conflict. But if you check for 50 and if you check for 60, there will be conflict, right? So let's find out how many conflicts can be there. So if we find out quadratic probing of 50 comma 0, initially it will be 0 because I value is 0. So h of k is nothing but 50 mod m, which is 0. So 0 mod m is 0. So it came here, 50 came here first, right? So there is a collision. So now we will move incrementing the value of I. Now we are putting it as 1. So it will be same as 0 plus C1 and C2, let's say they are 1. So this will be 1 plus this will be 1 mod m. So it will be equals to 2. So there will be a conflict because we are having some value at 2. So now it will be moving on to 2. Similarly, if we find out quadratic probing for 50 comma 2, it will be 0 plus 2 plus 4. So it will be 6. Now we are having an empty slot. So now 50 will be stored here. Similarly, if I find out for 60, so how many collisions for 50? 2 collisions. So if you find out for 60 comma 1. So if you keep on finding for 60, you will not be getting any particular place where you can store this particular value, right? So the collisions will be 10. I am not going to solve it because you already know how to solve it. So 60 comma 0 will be getting as 0. So we will be starting from here only. After that we will be moving in a quadratic manner. So when the value is 1, we will be getting 2 again. So we will be checking for 2. After 2 we will be getting 6, right? So after 6 we will be getting the repeated value as either 0, 2 or 6. So here we are getting 10 collisions and it will not be able to enter into the particular thing. So here you can see one thing is, the important thing is the pattern. So here also they are unnecessarily following the same path but in a quadratic manner. So this problem in the quadratic probing is known as secondary clustering. So if two keys contain same hash address, that is 50 and 60, both are containing same address as 0, and they both will follow same path unnecessarily because they both are following the same path unnecessarily in a quadratic manner. Because of this, average searching time increases. But this is comparatively less than the linear probing, right? So this problem is known as secondary clustering. Quadratic probing is having the drawback of secondary clustering. So secondary clustering is possible in quadratic probing. Now what is the time complexity for this? Time complexity will be order of 1 for best case, order of m for worst case, and order of m for average case also. The time complexity is same as the linear probing because of the secondary clustering problem. Now let's see how we can resolve this particular problem. So now we are moving on to the double hashing. So if we are moving on to the double hashing, then whether this problem will be resolved or not. So we have to check this, right? So in double hashing, if two keys contain same starting hash address, most often they will follow different path because we are using two functions here. So because of the second function, hopefully they all will be following the different path. There is very minute possibility that they will follow the same path. Now let's try to solve this particular question. We will getting an idea. So for 70, 93, 82 and 41 there will be no issue, right? Because there is no collision. So collision started from 50 and we move on to 60. So we know what is the formula for double hashing. It is h1 key plus I into h2 key mod m. This is the formula for double hashing, and this h1 and h2 is given. So if you try to find out double hashing for 50 comma 0, so initially I value 0, so it will be 0, h1 key, so it will be 0 only. So 50 started from here, Now if you find out dynamic hashing 50 comma 1, because there is a collision, so we will be incrementing the value of I. So it will be 0 plus I is 1. If you find out S2, it will be 1 plus 2 and mod M, so it will be 3. So again we got a collision. So after 0th place, it will be moving on to the 3rd place. Now we will be again incrementing the value of I. Now it will be getting 6, because 3 into 2 will be 6. So it will be stored at the 6th place, right? So how many collisions? 2 collisions for 50. Now check for the 60. If you check for 60 comma 0, it will be initially 0, so there will be a conflict. 60 comma 1, so if you find out 60 comma 1, it will be 5. So it is 60 is again starting from this first place only, because the initial is 0 like this 50, but now instead of moving on to 3, it is directly moving on to the 5. So 60 will be stored here. So here you can see that in double hashing, because of this second function, they are starting from the same hash address, but they are not following the exact path, they are following the different path. So because of this, the average searching time is order of 1. Why? Because of these two hash functions. So in double hashing, the secondary clustering problem is 99% eliminated. There is very few or very less chances that they follow the same path, because generally it is not possible because of the second hash function, right? So the best case and average case time complexity for searching is order of 1, and worst case time complexity is order of n. Now here you can see that one thing, that what was the concept of hashing? Hashing concept was to search a particular element in the data structure in constant time for all cases. All cases means best case, average case and worst case. But here we are getting order of n. So that means we are not getting the required or the desired result that we want. So what do we need to do to get the time complexity of searching as order of 1 in all of the cases? So the answer for this is perfect hashing. We can use the concept of perfect hashing to get the worst case time complexity for the searching as order of 1. So we will be discussing this perfect hashing in the next video. I hope you got an idea how exactly the things are working, what are the disadvantages of linear probing and quadratic probing, and how we can resolve these particular problems, right? So if you found this particular video useful, don't forget to like this video and mention your feedback or suggestion in the comment box. And in case you are having any query, I will give you the link of my Facebook group and page in the description, so that you can ask your query at that particular place, or you can mention it in the comment also. So thank you very much for watching. Keep supporting, keep learning. Have a great day.